Welcome into another video. Today we're going to be discussing Josh Jacobs and his 2020 fantasy outlook. This is a running back who has the potential to not only finish as a top 5 running back, but also lead the league in rushing. Yes, that is not a hot take. With that, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for future content. We got a lot of great stuff coming out, and we are in the business around here of winning championships, boys and girls, because that's what we're here for. So let's go ahead and get right after it. So let's go ahead and discuss Josh Jacobs. So let's go back to 2019. Well, obviously, he was a rookie in 2019, and he had a really strong rookie campaign. He finished his RB17 in half-point PPR leagues. Did all this while only playing 13 games. He only played in 13 games because he fractured his shoulder week 7 against the Packers, and he continued to play on. What's very impressive about his season is how efficient he was as a runner. He finished 3rd in big runs, 8th in evaded tackles, 6th in juke rate, 9th in yards created, 17th in yards created per touch, and he was also top 5 in yards after contact. Aspect of how he played last year was how well he did against stack front. Saw a stack front on 53% of his touches, and he still had a 4.9 yards per carry. That is insane efficiency. Now, he was also the lead back of the Raiders last year. He averaged just about 20 touches per game, 18.6 carries per game, and 1.5 receptions per game. Well, to go along with 1,300 total yards and 7 touchdowns. That is a very, very strong rookie season. What can we expect from Josh Jacobs in 2020? Why do I think that he can not just lead the league in rushing, but also be a top 5 running back that is currently being drafted right around RB10 or mid-second round according to 4for4's ADP? For me, it's quite simply this. One of the big knocks of him this offseason has been his lack of involvement in the passing game. He only had 28 targets last year, which, yes, that is a red flag because that is like Derrick Henry level of opportunity in the passing game. Now, what do we know about Josh Jacobs? We know Josh Jacobs is an excellent pass catcher. That was one of the big trades coming out of college that we were really looking at and really liked about his game. Now, the Raiders did not utilize him that way, but Mike Mayock this offseason has come out and said that they plan on using him far more in the passing game. Some of that had to do with the fact that he had a fractured shoulder and they were trying to limit his touches. So I do think that we can reasonably expect in a full season that he could probably see 55 to 60 targets, which would be a big boost considering he's likely going to receive somewhere in that 280 to 300 carries this year. He is the workhorse back in this offense, and to be honest with you, there are some opportunities here for more opportunity. DeAndre Washington has now left and is signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. He had 144 touches last year, 43 of those were targets, and I might add that DeAndre Washington is a solid late round buy in fantasy right now that Damian Williams is opted out. But back to the Raiders. The other aspect that I've heard from most fantasy analysts is Jalen Richard. They re-signed Jalen Richard. So that means Josh Jacobs not going to get the opportunity. That is just lazy analysis, in my opinion. Jalen Richard last year only had 43 targets. He's not Tariq Cohen, who had 100 targets last year and is solidified as the pass-catching back in this offense. It's just not the case. He only played 28% of the snaps, and he only had, I believe, he received 15.6% of the opportunities in that backfield. I am not worried about fucking Jalen Richard. People need to stop with this lazy analysis of Jalen Richard's there. So that means Josh Jacobs cannot be the lead back in this offense. So that does not mean that he is not going to get a larger workload out of the backfield as a pass catcher. He is certainly capable of doing so, and I think if healthy, I think that you're going to see somewhere, I think 3 to 5 targets per game. And if he gets that compared with everything else that he does on the ground, I think that's why he makes him a decent buy at his current ADP and somebody who has top 5 upside at that position. The other factors that we should be looking at is their offensive line. They have one of the better run blocking offensive lines. Last year, they were 6th in adjusted line yards, 24th in power rank, 7th in stuff rank, 21st in second level yards. They improved that offensive line by adding Richie Incognito, Gabe Jackson, as well as they drafted in the 4th round of this year's draft, John Simpson out of Clemson, who is likely going to be someone that can be utilized as depth behind Incognito or Gabe Jackson. So the other aspects is they really improved this offense. That was one of their big things heading into this offseason. Derek Carr finally has some real weapons. They drafted Henry Ruggs in that 4.3 speed, who's going to open up the field. And then they added Bryan Edwards, which anybody who knows our podcast that we do, that I'm a big Bryan Edwards fan. Bryan Edwards, I think, has the potential to be the best wide receiver in this offense starting year 1. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. He's 100% healthy. He is going to be that guy who gets those short and intermediate routes. and he's a very physical wide receiver. I love some Bryan Edwards. They also still have Darren Waller, who was a top 5 tight end last year. Hunter Renfrow is still there, who will likely see that time in the slot. So with all those things considered, I think their passing game takes a step forward, which loosens up the running game. But we've already seen that even if they do stack the box against Josh Jacobs is able to be efficient in doing that with his 4.9 yards per carry against stacked front that he saw 53% of the time. So I really like Josh Jacobs. There's nothing there that really bothers me in his profile to say that he can't do this. We just need to stop being lazy and trying to find certain little things to knock him. With all that, I think that he has the potential to be a top 5 running back, and I think he has the potential to lead the league in rushing this year. We saw it last year. The dude balled last year with a fractured shoulder, I might add. So with that being said, go ahead and take Josh Jacobs right there. If he's in that second round range, I think that only running back that I would even consider taking ahead of him in his range is probably Miles Sanders and Kenyon Drake, and that's probably the list. I would rather have him than Derrick Henry. I would probably rather have him than Joe Mixon at this point. I think it's wheels up for Josh Jacobs in 2020. So again, I really appreciate everybody checking this out. Be sure to click that like and subscribe button one more time. We have a lot of really good content coming out, and we really appreciate all the support we're getting. We're on that road to 1K, so any help we can get along the way is greatly appreciated, and let's win that championship. Let's go.